What's good, guys? Here we are with installment number 2 of the After Effects tutorial series. In this video, we're going to go through some precursory steps that are going to make things a little easier in the creative process and also help you organize and get a cleaner product. So the first thing we're going to go to is about continuously rasterizing. So here we have individual elements that came in from our Illustrator file that we brought in. So if you see, if I transform this arm, for example, it's not retaining the sharpness, it gets blurry. So we're going to go over to this little star burst icon for continuously rasterized. And if I check that, now you see that it retains its sharpness no matter how big I make it. So what that's doing is continuously referencing the Illustrator file. So we're going to go ahead and just check that off for everything right off the bat so we don't have to deal with that. So the next thing I want to talk about is arranging your time blocks. So this is where you want to think about your story. Like here we have the asteroid and the fragments. And if you remember in our reference video, those don't appear until later on. So what I can do is highlight all of those, take those time blocks and move it down so we'll just go right to the middle of the video. So now those things don't appear until later on and they're not going to get in the way and confuse us while we're animating the relevant elements at that time. So next, let's talk about anchor points. So what anchor points are kind of like the center, like every transformation or animation happens relative to that anchor point. So each element's anchor point should be placed in a position that's useful. So you see in rotation, this arm isn't turning at the shoulder, it's turning right in the middle. So what we want to do is move that anchor point up to that joint. So what I'm going to do up here is hit the pan behind tool. That's going to allow us to grab that anchor point and slide it to a better location. So now when I go back and rotate this arm, it moves from the shoulder. So this is going to be different for every element in every project, but you have to think about it logically. So I'm going to go through and hit all these other limbs, and I'm going to bring the head over to the neck. I'm going to bring the leg anchor point up to the pelvis, and the same on the other. And I'll bring that last arm up to the shoulder as well. So now everything's jointed in a more logical position, and that's going to allow me to animate this thing as I need to. So the only thing I'm not going to change is the torso. I'm going to leave that as the center. And that's going to bring us over to the last thing of this video, which is parenting. So parenting is linking one element to another element, right? And that's our column over there with the parent link. So when I grab this torso and I move it, nothing goes with it, but I need this body to move in unison. So what I'm going to do is for this arm, this left arm, let's go ahead and make its parent the torso. So now, once I've done that, the torso will control the arm. So when I move the torso, the arm will go with it. So we want to do that for all of our appendages. So I'm going to go through and just hit torso for all of these. So that's going to make the torso the center. So we can still animate these other elements, but they move relative to the torso. So the only thing I'm not going to parent on this body to the torso is the visor. That visor I'm going to parent to the head, but the head is parented to the torso. So it will still move all together. So now I can animate the entire body relative to the torso, or I can animate just the head and the visor will go with it. So if you had a more complex appendage, which I hope you will, like multiple parts of an arm, you would probably want to anchor the upper arm and have it parented by the torso, and then the lower arm would be parented by the upper arm. So let's go ahead and save that, and I will catch y'all on part 3.